me, Renee. I'm back, and I'm here with a recently read. So last week was International Book Day on Tuesday, and then on Saturday it was Independent Book Day. Well, sorry, Independent Bookstore Day. So because of that, I did kind of books about book themed reading last week. I'm going to talk about three of them. Well, I did read four books. But one of them I already turned to the library. Well, I can talk about one of them. Though I also talked about one on another video. I don't know. I'll talk about some books anywho. Um, and you know what? Yeah, me being a silly. I'll just start with the one that I don't have, so you just have to imagine too. I talked about it in a different video, but yeah. So it was called Blanka Ark, which is the second in a trilogy, companion trilogy. It's a originally Swedish book, so it would be blank sheets, like new paper, yeah, blank sheets, like a new start. It would be the translation of it. And it's about Clara, who works in a publishing house, and it's about her work struggles, also her love life, and her family struggles. I would say this one, no, because the first one felt like it was a bit more like balanced, but this book, because as I said, it's a trilogy, this book, I would say it's a bit more romance focused, and I wasn't that invested in romance really. Like it had like contrite and it had like silly communication issues, which were like, of course, you can see where it's going from miles away, and it's just kind of yeah. So I didn't love that. I did like I did I did enjoy the book, but I did like the first book much more. So yeah. And also, it's a book that's, as far as I know, it's not available in English. So talking about it on an English book tutorial seems a bit mean. So I do that sometimes, but yeah. So that was and I've just mentioned it, and it took place in publishing, so it was about publishing, so it kind of is related to this video. And then the first book I'm gonna show you is 80 Days to Elsewhere by Casey Dyer. So I found this randomly. I kind of, yeah, I was looking for some books to read for Eurovision, and then I was just kind of googling like books that takes place in several places. And this one, as you might have guessed, it's based on Jules Verne Around the World in 80 Days. So in this one, the main character goes on the same route, or not exactly the same route, but more or less the same route. So she goes around the world, not just around Europe, but like around the world. And she doesn't start in London; she starts in New York. But yeah, she goes to a lot of the same places that Phileas Fogg did. And it's a great idea. It's a very fun idea, like to take like inspiration from that and then have a character who do the same journey again. That's a cool idea. But honestly, I was gonna be a let down for me. In the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is good. It's interesting." And then he like in the beginning it was interesting and potential and had potential and interesting. And then I felt like honestly, I felt like it was kind of a weird pace. Like first, it was just kind of yes, you're getting to know the characters, getting to know the setting, la 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 la, and then suddenly it's like at least for me, it kind of felt like so you're just kind of walking along, getting to know the world, and then suddenly like you went from there to like there, and no time was like suddenly 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 like the characters were arguing, and I was thinking like, okay, you're supposed to care about these characters arguing, but I don't because I don't really know you. Like it went from 10 to 100, and it's just I suppose some people like this kind of weird pacing thingy because it has gotten some I don't know, yeah, because it has some good praise, but that's from for another book. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Because I was kind of thinking back and forth. Well, no, is it? I'm just gonna double check something here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because like I was thinking, like, is this her debut book or not? Because like it kind of felt like a debut book, but then she has gotten praise for another book she's written, and then she also has some YA books. But yeah, I don't like. I love the idea behind it, but kind of feels like you're going from place to place, and kind of feels like you're going too fast from place to place. So it's not like you really get to know a place. And sometimes it's like people are in danger, but like I don't really care because I don't really feel connected to the characters. And then the ending kind of felt like it's a bit too easy. Was I mean, books like this, you kind of know it's going to be a happy ending, but like I suppose it's kind of like the Pixar movies. In Pixar movies, it's a happy ending. You don't get the happy ending that you wanted, but you get a happy ending that you needed. So it's not like the happy ending that you're going for, but it's still a happy ending. Here, it's kind of it's a happy ending you can predict from like 1,000 miles away, and yeah, it's like in the beginning you kind of know that she okay, so you can get you know that main character lives with her two uncles because her parents aren't in the picture, and we don't really know why. And then after a little while, you understand okay they're dead, but you don't really know why. You don't really get any hints about why. And then towards the end, you get a reasoning for why, and like yeah, and then you also get like some emotional baggage. Like, yeah, I think this would be more interesting if you had like also like as I said, like the main character. There's it's just two chapters, and then there's traveling starts. And like I want to know the character because before you just go traveling around the world. I suppose sometimes you can do that. Like you can take a character you just met and like make that plot start quickly. Yes, but I feel like that's something that very few authors manage to do. Really, I didn't really. No, I wasn't really here for it. So yeah, sadly, this cool idea, but execution. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's an awful book, no. But for me, it's kind of I suppose like in a way I had some high expectations for it because look, it's just like, such a cool idea. But it's going to charity shop, and it's not really. I wouldn't really say it's a. I'm gonna recommend to people. So yeah. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't like if I see people reading it, it's like I wouldn't say, "Oh my God, don't." I mean, it's not an awful read, but I wouldn't say like if you want a fun book about traveling and also with literature references, don't go for this. It's simply my 2 cents about it. Yes, and then next I picked up The Bookish Life of Nia Hill by Abby Waxman. So this has been on my radar for a while. I mean, it's been a lot of list of like books that book lovers will love. It's a book about a main character who works in a bookstore, so it's on a lot of these lists. And then I got it recently, and yeah, I did pick it up recently to like read it, and yeah, I mean, I had high hopes because it's been on my radar for a while, and I more or less only heard good things about it. And this one, like often when you have high hopes about a book, some part of you gets a bit disappointed. Like some part of you like, oh, it didn't really like live up to my hype. It was good, but I didn't love it. The hype is real for this one. I love it so much. It's so cool. I mean, the only thing that I have like two kind of thoughts about this book, like two complaints in a way, because the summary at the back kind of gives you an impression that the book is this, and then the book itself is kind of this. It's not like way different, but they kind of give two different impressions. Like this, no, yeah, it's not gonna be, it's not a spoiler because it has happened in the very beginning. But like in the more or less like first few chapters, and you also know from the summary that she discovers that her dad is dead, her dad she didn't know is dead, and then she has lots of family, and like her usual life is like she grew up with a mom, but her mom wasn't really around. She just kind of traveled around, and she was kind of more or less raised by a nanny. She doesn't have any siblings from her mom's side. It's never really mentioned her mom's like parents or whatnot, but she just said like her mom's like she hasn't really had a family besides her mom. So I'm assuming at least her mom doesn't have any siblings or like any family in that way that she's connected to. It's not really mentioned that, but yeah. But yeah, very quickly in the book, you kind of discover, her dad is just dead. Oh, it's just dead. Okay, interesting. But her dad was rich, and she's in her will, so like in his will, and also there's lots of family that, like, for instance, Nina Hill, the main character, is 29 in the book, but because of her dad being a bit older, she has a nephew that's in his 50s. So so that's kind of interesting. That just happens sometimes. But yeah, from the back of this book, it kind of seems like in the beginning, Nina Hill lives a quiet life, and then her dad dies, and the whole family wants to get to know her. And that's not quite how it is. Some of the family wants to get to know her, yes, but some of the family doesn't want to get to know her. And so it's a bit more complicated than you might guess from the summary, really. Though I did like how it did how it evolved, how the book was. It's kind of like, yeah, summaries that kind of gives you a wrong impression of the book. I don't really like that, because often that might give you a bad reading experience or whatnot, and you might kind of be a bit disappointed because you didn't get the book you thought you were getting. So that's a bit of a that's a pet peeve of mine. I mean, I feel like summaries, I mean, they shouldn't really give away all the book, but they shouldn't sell you a different book than the book you're getting. I feel like that's not cool. That's not cool. But yeah, so there's that, and I also quite like that. I mean, from the summary and also from the idea, like the title, like the bookish life of Nina Hill, you kind of feel like Nina Hill is gonna be like very bookish, very very introverted, and she's a bit, but she has her job. She has some good colleagues at work. She has a quiz team that she goes to. She has things that she does for her job, because her job is an indie bookstore. So she's a part of the children's book club that she does like once a month, and she does like, yeah, book signings or whatever. Like sometimes she does things for her job. So it's not like she's a recluse. I feel like this summary kind of makes you think that the book is about her being a recluse, and suddenly having to not being a recluse. And she's not really a recluse, I would say. I mean, yeah, she's one of those people who she's not like, she doesn't need to be social, she doesn't need to be with people all the time. So I would say she's kind of introvert, which is kind of mentioned there. But she just do social things now and then, so it's not like she's never social, but she likes being alone. So yeah. Um, so there's that. And yeah, I relate to Nina quite a lot. Uh, Also, I feel like quite a lot of times in books, when the characters are into books, like very much love books, I feel like they're often also like a bit shy. Maybe they think like, oh yeah, people in books do lots of stuff, but I'm too scared of doing things because of what if people laugh at me. But Nina Hill, she does things. She takes initiative. Like she initiated a book club for adults that she has for herself. That's beside her job. It's not power job. It's just kind of on her free time, and I love that. I mean, not like not like I'm gonna be mean at, like, I'm gonna nag you people readers. I mean, readers are so many different things. It's not just one type of reader. But like for me, I suppose I can't really say it's because of reading, but I feel like maybe it might be because of reading, because I've read a lot of books in my life. And like quite often, a lot of books, the message in a lot of books is kind of like carpe diem, like do things and then smile to the world will smile back, and do things, and then life will be happy. So like my one of my mottos is kind of like, you know what? If no one's doing it, I'm gonna do it. So like if a few years ago I didn't really have a lot of friends here because life and stuff. And I started like asking people, do you want to do this? Do you want to go to cinema? Do you want to knit together? Do you want to do this together? A lot of people said no, or like said, oh, cool idea, I can't. But some people said yes. So it's like, if you want to do stuff, if there's no one else doing like a knitting club or book club close to you, start it yourself. And like, yeah, if it doesn't exist, like do the initiative, make it happen yourself. Like, I feel like you can't really complain that you're sad and lonely if you don't say yes to when people say do you want to do stuff, or if you don't if you don't initiate, if you don't make things happen yourself, if you're just sitting in a room all day and not like looking at the opportunities that are in the world, it's kind of like the opportunities are not gonna knock on your door. Sometimes you do, but like very few times they're not gonna knock on your door. So yeah, take opportunities that life gives you, or make opportunities. That's kind of my idea, and I feel like Nina's a bit of a similar thing, really. She didn't have any friends after college, so she decided to make a book club. A great way to meet people. So yeah. Then also, yeah, what is different from me and Nina is that Nina, she's a bit more like organized. She makes a bit more lists, and I'm not really that into lists. Like she also talked about like she wants to exercise in this and this manner. I'm like, yeah, I'm not that into exercising. I would say like for main part, I would say like Nina Hill and me quite similar. And yeah, it's very fun to like see someone so similar to yourself in a book. In a moment. Yes, so I love that aspect of the book, of the character and the book. Also, like after each chapter, there's like a list of like what's going to happen in the next chapter and whatnot, and I love that. Yeah, so that, yeah, and there's also a thing where so Nina Hill in this book, she gets a lot of family that she has a lot of family that she didn't know about before this book, before events of the book. But at the same time, she starts to um, flirt a bit with someone from a different quiz team. On like there's this pub quiz league. So she starts to flirt with another guy. It's like, okay, love life. How do you do this? And I'm almost like, yeah, love life. How does that work? So that's related to me. But like one of the conflicts was that and people around her said like, give this man a go, give this man a go. But the thing was that this man, lovely as he was, he hadn't really read a lot of books. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Why should she go out with a guy who doesn't read a lot? I mean, and people said she was a snob because she was a bit hesitant to go out with him because he didn't read a lot. And I suppose this might make me snob. I'm agreeing with Nina here. Like, I'm not sure I'm ever gonna like. Maybe this is why I'm forever single. But like, I'm not sure I'm ever gonna go up with someone who never reads. Like, I don't. I'm not saying that everyone has to read as much as I do or read the same books as I do, but my love for reading is a big part of myself. Her love, Nia's love for reading is a big part of herself. So I feel like if you then meet someone and they don't understand that part of you, or they don't share that part of you, I, I don't know. I feel like no. So the thing is in this book, I suppose. I mean, yes, Tom doesn't read himself, but he doesn't really go around saying you read books, you're idiot. He's like, oh, she reads books. She's so cultured and wordy, and I like that. And he likes it about him about her, but he's not into reading himself. So I suppose I'm a bit like damaged from like when I was in school, middle grade and stuff. When I would like sit with a book in recess and people would come to me like, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you reading? Why are you reading? You're so stupid!" Like people would bully me because I read, and I even encountered a guy who, when I was 20, my first year of studying, and like the guy asked like, "What do you study?" And then I said like history, like, "Oh, interesting." And then like he asked like, "What do you do when you're not studying?" And I said, "I love to read." And he's like, why do you read? Books are boring. Books are just stupid and boring. And he said that. And he was my age, like 19, 20. And it's like, I could maybe understand a stupid hormonal teenager saying that. I suppose 19, 20-year old, 19 is still he's an older teen. But to bully someone, no, not cool, not cool. I don't like it. But I suppose in the end, like in the end, slight spoiler alert. But yeah, in the end, kind of interesting. Tom, the love interest in this book, he actually works as a carpenter and he makes bookshelves while he doesn't read. It's kind of ironic, but interesting. But the thing is, like, he kind of has an idea, and then like he wants Lena to be able to come to his house and have like a reading nook and whatnot. So he's open her to her reading. He's not bullying her for reading, but it's not. But he did say like he's never going to be a big reader myself. And I'm like, if you meet someone who doesn't read, fine. But maybe like in a while they start to uh, be influenced by you, start to read a bit more. But saying from the get go that you will never be a big reader, I don't know. But yeah, he did say that. But he said also like, but I want you to be able to like just sit in that chair and read while I do my thing. Like he's not gonna bully her for reading. So yeah, that is a nice thing. It is. So yeah, me and Tom, we don't completely agree, and like thinking that Nina is a snob because she doesn't like people who don't read. I don't know. Is that snobbish? I feel like it's more snobbish. Honestly, to me, I feel like it's more snobbish to feel like, yeah, you're not a reader if you don't read classics. I feel like that's snob. But to not like people who don't read, I don't know. I suppose it's maybe because I'm like I'm a bit privileged because a lot of people in my life, like my family, doesn't read as lot as me as lot as me, but they still do read. And like a lot of friends I've had through my life, I've like a lot of them also read, not as lot as I do, but they still read. The books the friends I've made like this last few years, not all of them are big readers, but like they're I wouldn't really say they're like they might like read one or two books a year, and that's kind of yeah. And yeah, so that's my feelings about Nina Hillary. It's yeah, it's a delightful read all in all, really. Oh yeah, sorry. Also another point. I quite like how because as I said, she didn't know her dad when he was alive, but she gets to know her half siblings, her nephews, like their dads are her family, like throughout this book. And a lot of them have like different opinions. Like some people said like that guy wasn't big either. Some of them said like, yeah, it was nice enough. And some said like, oh yeah, he's the best guy ever. So at first you think like, is some of them lying? But then another person said in the ending of the book, and that's I really like that how like I mean they knew this guy in different stages of his life, and like if when he had his first kid, if it was a bad dad then, well then that kid will always think of that guy as a bad dad, even though that person might be a nicer dad to his second kid. So yeah, it's not like they're lying. It's just that they've met him at different stages in his life, and that's kind of interesting way to think like how yeah you change over your life, and also some people kind of bring out the more moodiness of you, and some people kind of you get along more with, and yeah. But yeah, all in all, Nina Hill, the bookish life of Nina Hill. Oh yeah, I did say like I was going to stop and then I was going to say yeah, I do have like two small things to mention again. So one thing, there's quite a lot of Harry Potter references in this book, and like I haven't been a huge Harry Potter fan in a while, but like these last few years, Rowling has kind of showed her behind, and also lately she's also been like I suppose in a way for me I felt like, and this might get me some hate, but I feel like sometimes she said stuff and I'm like yeah, but like people can say stuff and they don't really know what they're saying, and they might like say the wrong thing, but have the good heart things in the heart in the right place and whatnot. But yeah, more and more like she hasn't really gone back and she hasn't really apologized. And then lately, like, and I do know that words matter, but also one thing that she hasn't done lately that is that she's given a lot of money to our organization that works for anti-trans rights. So now it's not just about what she's saying, it's also like money. She's also giving like money is at least I think like words you could maybe ignore and whatnot, though I suppose if you feel other people hear what you say then words matter and whatnot. But money also makes a big difference, and if giving money to someone who does bad things. No. Though the thing was that this is actually a first edition book, so I don't know if someone, if a publisher republished this one today, if they would include the same references, because some authors do take away those references and and switch them for other references, or just take away the references. So you could do that. But yeah, those kind of irked me really. And then there's also like one of the characters in this book is gay, and she told someone else about like, yeah, I have a gay uncle, and they say like, oh, you have a gay uncle, cool, I want a gay uncle. That kind of also felt like, I mean, yeah, it's good that you are not anti-gay, but like being like, oh, cool, you have a gay uncle. That sounds a bit like you're fetishizing him. Like, oh, he's so gay, so cool. Like, I want a gay uncle. Like, it kind of iffed me a bit. I mean, I'm not gay myself, so I can't say it from a like personal point of view. But it kind of felt a bit off, really. Like, it kind of felt like it's the same for me. Like if someone talks about me and to someone else, I'm like, oh yeah, my friend is from Norway. Oh, she's from Norway. Oh, I want to be your friend as well. I mean, there's aspects of your life that's like you are different aspects of your personality of your life, but it's not like I want to be known as just Bodøværing, Renate. I want to be known as Bodøværing. I want to be known as reader. I want to be known as a nice person, as a person who likes to swim. Like I'm a lot of things. You're not just one thing. So like the gay person or Norway person is like, yeah, say that, but say it with other things. Not just focus on the one adjective there, really. It kind of feels a bit, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was a really good reading experience all in all. All in all, it was a good experience all in all, but I had some thoughts, but mostly I loved this book. And then I read The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentile. So this has been on my radar also for a while. I kind of honestly, I was a bit let down from the beginning, honestly, because I've kind of thought this was going to be more library based. The thing is that the first scene happens in a library, and then afterwards it just goes all over. But yeah, then it's not really that library based. But the thing is, okay, so four people they meet in um in a room in a library. Someone screams, and then it's like, oh, what happened there? So they bond over the scream, they talk, and then later that night they hear like, oh, that was a dead body in the library. Oh, so there's a mystery like what happened in the library. And so it's a mystery book with like the first murder happening in the library. There's several murders. Like I like mysteries, but this one honestly I kind of felt a bit too slow. Like things happened, but it was kind of I love talking, not I love action, and honestly, I didn't love the mystery. Like the characters, like it was very character based, and I liked the characters. I didn't love them, and like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, interesting, cool," but like of course, first like, "Oh, things are happening, boom, boom, boom," and then I felt like, yeah, nothing's happening, and then things are happening. It kind of felt like the pacing was a bit off, really, for my taste. So yeah, all in all, I mean, this has gotten a lot of good reviews and stuff. I suppose, and also like it is not long. It's just like 250 pages. So I suppose if you want a quick read, this might be a book for you. But then again, I mean, there are quicker, shorter. Well, there are other shorter reads that honestly I would say are better. But yeah, yeah. I think that's that really. So that's kind of my recent reads, bookly based books, and also honestly, right now, if you have any more book-based books, you can recommend them to me, because I don't really have any more on my TBR at the moment. So like for next year, for next April, well, I suppose you can read bookish books whenever. I will have to pick up some other books, but yeah, also it's always fun to read books, surrounding books, but yeah. yeah, that's my thoughts. And yeah, if you have any thoughts about any of these books, if you have recommendations for bookish books, like books based on bookstores, libraries, authors, whatnot, please leave them in the comments. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.